Hey everybody, so I'm making a video today based on the tune that I wrote, You Sound Familiar, Have We Met Before? And that lead sheet's going to be right next to me, one of these sides, I'm not sure. But I had recorded this and done a video, and I actually have a much better recording on my Bandcamp page if you want to check that out. But I really appreciated people watching it and had a bunch of comments, and I had said in answer to one of the comments that once I got a lead sheet done, I was going to make a video because I want to explain a couple of things of how this tune is written and why it's written and why it's named the way that it is. So as you look at the lead sheet, let's go with some stuff first. I love playing in the key of E flat, concert E flat. I just do. It feels great in my fingers. It's probably my favorite key. Concert B flat would be second. And all of you band directors out there, yeah, we all love concert B flat. And I love concert E flat too. Look, I love them all. But, you know, certain keys are just more comfortable than others. So this one is really comfortable under my fingers. And I tend to write, you know, I'm going to write stuff. If I'm writing originals that I'm going to feel comfortable playing, that I'm really going to enjoy playing, I'm probably going to write it in a key that I feel comfortable in. It just makes sense to me. Anyway, E flat, little vamp in the beginning. E flat, and I have it specifically as an E flat 2, and then an A flat minor 6/9. So basically, man, love that sound. So you can't go wrong in my mind going from a 1 to a 4 minor. That's just a beautiful sound. So I love that sound. So when I wrote this, I was thinking about that sound. And here's a little bit behind how I wrote this. Had my family was my son and his bride, his wife were up to visit us, and my whole family, we were all going out. And as typical, I was ready first. I'm just that guy. Anyway, another reason just to. So I can't stand myself. I'm just, like always waiting to go someplace, and I'm just there, to be early is to be on time. To be on time is to be late. That's just kind of where I am. So if I have to be someplace, I'm usually there 45 minutes early. But I was ready early, and so I sat at the piano before everybody was getting ready to leave. They weren't ready yet. And I just started playing this sound, and I love this sound. And then I started playing just kind of like a random chord progression. And I thought to myself, ooh, I like that. Now, that random chord progression is not really that random. And that's where the title comes from, You Sound Familiar. That's a familiar chord progression. And let me tell you where it was familiar. I'll play it for you, hopefully. On the sunny side of the street. And that's basically the beginning on the sunny side of the street. 1 chord, 3 dominant. And in my case here, I made it an augmented. So E flat major, and I don't have a 7 there, by the way. I have an add or a 2, E flat 2. I like that sound. I didn't want this because my melody note is starting on E flat, right? There's my augmented, my 3 dominant. And that's a great way to get to the 4 chord. Now I could have gone a 2/5 to 4, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to go this way. 1 to 3 dominant, augmented to the 4 chord, and then to 4 minor. But I didn't want to go flat 7 dominant. I could have, but I didn't want to. I wanted to go 4 major and not 4 minor 7, not this. I'm not doing this. I wanted to go 4 major, A flat major, to A flat minor 6/9. Then, very common, look at the G minor 7. What is that? G minor 7 to C7. Well, that's going to be 3/6. Then to 2 dominant, F13. 2 dominant to 5 with a flat 9. And I love this sound, F13, starting on the 13 of the F, which is a D. Now, I don't have that written in the chart, but that was the sound I had in mind, okay? So that's all familiar. That's all familiar stuff, familiar progressions. Now, check out the next part. Same melody, but I reharmonized it this time. Instead of the G augmented, I now have an A13. It's a tritone sub, right? For, if I'm going to, okay, so if I'm going to the A flat, that's my goal, right? I'm going to A flat. Well, how can you get there? E flat is going to be the 5 of A flat. So instead of going to an E flat 7, I went to the tritone sub, which is an A, and then just down a half step to the A flat. Now, I didn't just do an A major, I did an A, how did I write it? A13, but with a sharp 11. So basically, it's like a B major triad over A to the A flat. So in context, E flat, that's the first progression. Here it is. And there's my 9 on top, A flat minor 6/9. Now check out the next part. Okay, so that next part is basically just a 3, 6, 2, 5, 1. I'm in the key of E flat. But I didn't do that. I did, instead of 3, which is a G minor, I did the tritone sub, D flat. So that's like a flat 6. And I put an E flat triad. So that E flat slash D flat means an E flat triad over D flat. Then to C augmented. So flat 6 to 6, now 2. And instead of going to 5, I did the tritone sub. Flat 2, but I put a sharp 9 on it, because that's the melody note, to E flat. So the whole A section. Here's a change. So there's the A section. Sounds familiar, right? You sound familiar. Have we met before? Yeah, I'm not talking about a person. I'm talking about progressions, like harmonic progressions, common jazz sounds. And I've heard all of these. So, but they're just now an original setting. Here's a B section. Okay, so what did I do there? Well, I took the 1 chord, the E flat, which we're in the key of E flat major. Now I made that into E flat minor 7, which is basically going to be a 2, E flat minor 7 to A flat 7 to D flat. Now I'm in the key of D flat. I decided to go into the key of the flat 7. I'm in a new key now, D flat. So D flat's 1, B flat 6 dominant, 2, A flat, remember that slash chord just means a C major over a D flat in the bass, and then I resolve it to D flat. very common sound. It's in that tune, Christmas Time Is Here. I mean, it can be used all over the place. Right, I put it, and it's basically whatever key you're in, you can go a half step lower and play that triad over top of the key that you're in. So in that Misty example I just played, key will be E flat, but I'm going to put a D triad and then resolve it. And in this case, I'm in a D flat. The melody note's going to be an E flat, but I'm going to put a C major and then resolve it. Yeah, now I'm going to take that D flat major and now make it D flat minor, but I'm going to enharmonically spell it because I don't want to be in the key of, I don't know, C flat. C sharp minor, F sharp 7. So basically 2, 5, 1. I'm now in the key of B. 6, 2, 5. Now here's my B flat chord, here's my 5 back to the key of E flat. Now I have the C marked in the wrong spot. It should be here in this measure. I'm back to the next section, just like the A section. Now, where the C is marked on the chart, here it is, tritone sub, 4 chord. I let that hang, adding measure 2, 4, and then I have this little vamp, 4 minor 6. Yeah, I mean, that's a great vamp. Like, I love playing over that kind of vamp. So, you know, I wrote this tune. I try to get a relatively simple melody, and it's all familiar harmonic material. And that's where the title came from. But this also allows me a chance to do some subtoning. So this beginning. I can subtone if I want to. It also gives me certain progressions that I really enjoy playing over. Like, for instance, to the B flat, for me, B flat major. Love playing over that B flat 6/9, B flat minor 6/9. It's just, so a lot of great, for me, a lot of comfort in this. And that's why it's like an old shoe. You know, you sound familiar to me. Have we met before? And that's where the title came from. So I have not played these in public, any of my originals really, but I'm really fortunate, like really happy next week. And then the week after, I have 2 gigs in the next couple of weeks where I'm actually going to be able to get to play some of my arrangements of tunes. And then also next week, I'm going to be able to play a few of my originals. And I am so looking forward to that. So hopefully I'll get some video of these tunes with a band. I have some really great players that I'm going to get a chance to play with over the next couple of weeks. Again, I'm so fortunate to be in this area and to know so many amazing people that will put up with me. So anyway, I had to cut the end of the video, and now I'm making an end to the video because something's up with my microphone and I keep getting this weird sound in there. So hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you on the next one.